Sis, your environment is controlling you. Yes, it is controlling you. Your environment currently is set up to keep you from accomplishing the goals that you are trying to meet. It is keeping you from creating better habits. It's keeping you from breaking old and bad habits. It is controlling your ability to get in motion. And today we are going to change that. I'm just a girl. First things first, my name is Lara and this is Trovich Nation. Welcome, baby. This is where we grow together, support each other, and love each other through our processes. So if you haven't already, make sure you like, follow, comment, the whole nine. I also want to make sure I am referencing the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. I am currently reading the book. I am reading one chapter at a time, applying what I'm learning to my life as I go through reading it. And then I am sharing that knowledge and that experience with you guys. So just know a lot of this information is coming from Atomic Habits from James Clear, by James Clear, sorry. And, I might be relaying the information differently. I'm kind of relaying it going off of what sticks out to me the most and what I find is working for me best. But obviously, make sure you guys do your own research, and I definitely recommend reading the book. It is life-changing. I am only on chapter 6, and I've already seen such a huge difference. All right, let's get into it, because as always, we ain't got no motherfucking time to waste here, baby. First things first, we need to understand that a habit is always linked to a cue, which is oftentimes linked to an environment. So, for instance, if we tend to smoke a cigarette every time we drive our car, right? Every time we get in our car, the habit is smoking. The cue is getting into our vehicle or putting our vehicle in drive, and the environment is the vehicle itself. That's one example. There's many examples, but I just thought, hey, since I'm in my car, let's just give something that is relatable to me. So what that comes down to, a negative environment will trigger a negative cue, right? Or a cue to pick up or do or initiate a bad habit. Likewise, a positive environment will trigger a cue to initiate or pick up or, initiate a good habit. So right now, if you look around your current environment, wherever you're sitting at right now, if you're in your house, at your job, whatever it is you're doing, what does your environment look like? And what are you currently doing in that environment? Whether it's your room, your office, your car, your kids' room, your living room, your kitchen, what are you currently doing in that specific environment? And what bad habits do you find yourself doing in that environment along with other environments you visit frequently? It's important to remember that a small change in sight equals a small change in action. So what we need to do is make the habits that we want to create easier to see and easier to accomplish, and make the bad habits harder to do, harder to reach, and unnoticeable, make them blind, basically. My notes. Examples of this would be if you are someone that wants to start taking vitamins every day, but you keep forgetting to do so. Where are your vitamins placed at? Are they hidden in a cupboard or in a pantry, or do you have them there in plain sight? If they are hidden, then one way to help yourself create this good habit would be to put your vitamins in a location that you visit frequently each and every day. For instance, for me, I would put them next to my coffee maker, because every morning without fail, that's the first thing I do is go and make coffee. So I know I will see those vitamins, and it is easier for me to take them since I'm already there and I don't have to take any extra steps, which will make it so that I take those vitamins more often than not. Another example of this would be you want to read more. You want to read at night more. If you have your book that you want to read hidden in the bookshelf or in a drawer or somewhere that you're not going to notice it, you're going to be less likely to pick up that book. But if you go out of your way to put that book on your pillowcase or on your nightstand in the morning, you are going to be more likely to remember that you want to read every night, and more likely to pick up that book because all you have to do is extend or grab it as you're getting into bed. It's going to be a lot easier of a process. So a lot more willingness will come with doing the said task. The point is to make a good habit seen and a bad habit blind. This is how we're going to start to pick up good habits and start to break or release bad habits. An example of trying to make a bad habit blind and break a bad habit would be, for instance, me, I love soda. I absolutely love soda. I can't help myself. When there's a soda right there, I will reach for it. So the way I make that bad habit blind is by not purchasing soda. I don't buy 6-packs. I don't buy 12-packs. I don't buy anything. I just personally keep sodas out of my house, and I have to go out of my way to go to a gas station or go to a store to purchase myself a soda if I'm craving it, which makes me less likely to drink soda throughout the day and makes the job harder to accomplish. Another example of this would be, let's say you are a smoker and you want to stop smoking or smoke less. If you tend to smoke on your patio each and every time you want a cigarette, the best thing for you would be to either put your pack of cigarettes downstairs somewhere that you have to take a trip to go to, or leave them in your car. Then every single time you want to smoke, you have to take a trip, which eventually will lead to you wanting to do it less and less, because it is harder to reach, harder to accomplish, and they're not just right there at any given moment. When you change the environment and set it up for success for the good habits and make those bad habits harder to accomplish, harder to do, you are going to start to see more production in those good habits, and you're going to start to notice the changes that those good habits bring. If at all possible, change your environment by changing the location that you do that specific action. But if you cannot do that because life doesn't permit, then the best thing to do would be to rearrange your environment and to assign activities zones to certain actions, and try to use one space for one use. Again, if you can't do that, just try to rearrange as best as you can and set it up for the good habits, and make sure that those bad habits are hidden, and try to at least assign activity zones. I want to dive a little bit deeper into rearranging your space, because that is most likely what a lot of us have to do, because we don't have just the ability to buy new things or change locations or whatever. And so for me, as someone who has always kind of had limited access to certain things, to being able to just go and buy and pick up whatever I want, I've had to get extremely creative with how I repurpose certain things and how I rearrange certain things that sometimes you wouldn't even think can be used in a certain room or a certain area, but I make it work, and I make it work for my space. The point is to be creative and to have fun with it. And most importantly, to make sure that it is set up for success for you, the one that is actually meant to be producing the action and creating that good habit. Don't overload your space with things. In fact, start to declutter. You don't have to keep everything. If it's something that you have not used or thought about in the last 3 months, throw it away or donate it. Or if you really can't see yourself throwing it away because it's a decorative piece for your home and you don't have that many things, then find a way to repurpose it. It is a lot cheaper to go and buy a can of spray paint and paint that so it matches a new aesthetic and looks new and different than it is to just go buy a new piece of decoration. DIY does not have to be expensive, and oftentimes you don't really need to go and buy anything. It's just a matter of using your imagination and putting things in a place that you normally wouldn't put it and see how it works. It is a learning process, and oftentimes you will find yourself changing that space a couple times until you find what works for you. But there is excitement in rearranging your space. It feels new and it feels motivational. So what will happen when you start to rearrange that space, even if you don't get it right the first time, you will start to feel and see a change in what you are currently producing. And as you start to adjust and readjust, you are going to notice more and more productivity and more change in what you're doing. It's important that the space that you're in for whatever task you want to perform is inspirational. For instance, me, I don't find a lot of inspiration of doing my makeup in a dull room, a dull lit bathroom, anything like that. I hate it. I can't stand the way it feels, it looks. I have to go and do my makeup in a room that is bright and happy and exciting, so I can feel that way when I do a task that I really don't like doing. I don't like to do my makeup. I don't like to get ready. It is such a hard job for me. If you need to be creative and you feel like, whether it's like you're working or whatever, and you just feel kind of like stuck, go and change your location or change your scenery to a bigger room, a more lit room, or even an open space where it allows that energy to flow in. As you start to rid yourself of things that you no longer need, and you start to rearrange your space, you are going to notice that it is so much easier to do certain tasks that felt so mundane, and you are going to feel excited to do those tasks, or at least they are going to become bearable enough to do them and create habits out of them. And it's going to be a lot easier to remove those bad habits, because now you're doing them in a place that you don't like to do that habit in, or it's more work to get that habit done. For my moms, my single moms, it doesn't matter if you're married, if you're in a relationship, if you're single mom, make sure that your space is set up for success for you. As much as it does need to be set up for your children, you need to understand that certain spaces are meant to be set up for you, to make sure that you are producing the best thing that you can with as little work as possible. For instance, your kitchens, your bedroom, your bathroom, all your stuff needs to be easily accessible and easily seen and organized. So if you need to create more space because you share a bathroom with your children, or because your kitchen is super small and it doesn't have all the things that you need, then you need to go through first of all, you need to go through and you need to downsize. You don't need everything, and your kids don't need everything. You need to understand the things that you can go without, and the things that your family members can go without, and what is actually a necessity, and what is actually going to be used and serve purpose in your home and have an intentional purpose. When you are proud of your space and the things that you are doing, you are going to be more likely to continue to produce in that space, and more likely to take care of it, and to start to be proud of those habits that you are forming and that space that you have created to perform that habit. So this week, that is your homework. Go through your space and see what environments are producing for you and what environments are not. See what areas you are performing bad habits in, and see what areas make you feel unmotivated, make you feel unhappy. And then go through those areas, clean them out. Do a trash out. Do a fucking trash out. Stop giving yourself excuses as to why you need to keep something you don't. You haven't used it in 2 months. Goodbye, baby. Do a trash out for you, for your kids, for your partner, whatever. And then rearrange the space. You will immediately feel a change in energy. Next week, we are going to do a check-in, see how that worked out for everyone, see where we want to readjust, what areas we saw change in, what areas we didn't see change in, and how to continue to make our space work for us. So I will catch you guys next week. We are going to do a nation check-in. So be here or be square, and I want to see you guys comment. I want to interact with you guys. I want to know what is working and what's not. Until next time, keep it real, keep it chill, keep it trill.